Hi, everyone. This is Mahaya, and we are at Into Deep the Dialogue. Welcome, as today, in this episode, we are receiving Svens Telemaque. Svens, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Mahaya.
I want to thank you for coming in today. We've had a brief discussion a few weeks ago, I would say. And we've met in an interesting setting as well, which was church. And I hadn't gone to church for a long time. So it was actually quite refreshing. And I've heard your story, which really touched me a lot. And I think that if you would have never told me about your background, a little bit about your background, because I don't know all of it, I would never thought that you would have lived something like that. Tell me more about what, well, obviously there's incarceration that you've lived. You've lived a life of a gangster at one point. You've had to fight to live in your own way. And you've switched it up. Not only you're Canadian, but you've also mainly lived in the U.S. and especially Miami. I lived in Miami for a bit. So I could just imagine how much you've been through and where you come from. So talk to me a bit about that journey.
I mean, when it comes to my journey starts off with, the divorce of my parents here in Montreal. My mom decided to move to Miami, Florida, where I grew up. And unfortunately, I was just in a neighborhood that was ideal for my failure. When I would look out the bedroom window, I would see three types of people. I would see people working a 9 to 5, buying a gallon of milk, sack of bread, trying to make ends meet. I would see people that were strung out on crack cocaine going to that same corner store, to get stuff for their crack pipe. And then I would see what was for me my reference point of success, which was, the young black male having a grill, a nice car, all of the things that feed the ego. And, during that time in my life, I felt like my value came from what I have, what I do, and what people think about me, because I didn't understand that my value came from who I am, not necessarily all of those factors. And I feel like whether you're a youth, or whether you're an adult, too often we get lost in this little tussle between ourselves and our ego, where we feel more value when we accomplish more. We feel more value when we have more. We feel more value when people praise us. Like, all of that was something that I was tussling with at that time, because, going to school, I was always being bullied. People always putting me down. So regardless of the affection or the love that I was nurtured in at home from my mother, that couldn't compete with the chorus of people in school that was constantly putting me down, telling me I wasn't nothing because I didn't have the right pair of shoes on.
Right.
So I started to believe that. And this is where my story kind of like took a left turn.
To believe the narrative of what other people tell you.
For sure.
And before, what age did you go to Miami?
I was a baby.
Okay. So you don't have no recollection of your life in Canada at all?
None whatsoever.
Okay. And so growing up with a single mother, I believe, did you feel the need to protect her in some way?
For sure.
And would you think that through that protection, like through that need to protect her, that includes also paying the bills or not seeing her suffer in some way? Like, how did your street life impact you in that way?
It's funny you asked that. I never felt like I had to protect my mom financially, but I felt like I had to protect my mom physically.
Okay.
Because when it comes to my mother, God rest her soul, but my mom used to run numbers. Like in the Haitian community, we call it bolettes, right? And so she used to have like a front business, and then she was doing that on the back end. But that came with some drama. And when I mean drama, it means like people literally trying to rob her. And one of the things that kind of pushed me into crime is trying to protect my mom in a way. because when I was 12, they were stalking my mom because they knew that, because she also was running like a, um,
Was that a home business
no.
or
So
really like a store
she
business?
had a storefront in Little
Okay.
Haiti,
Okay.
right in the heart of Little Haiti, like
Wow.
on 54th and 2nd Avenue by the Walgreens. So like
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows that area there. And long story short, she also was the person I was organizing what we call like a susu
Okay.
between
What is the
all of
susu?
a susu is like, let's say we're like 10 entrepreneurs, we get together and we're like, okay, we're gonna have 10 hands. Everyone is gonna give money. You know what I mean? Let's say
Mm-hmm.
the susu is $1,000 a week, right? We're gonna pay each other, and then it just goes into a
Okay.
circle, and everyone gets a payout,
Okay.
right? So she was organizing that for all of the Haitian merchants in the area, and there's a
And
lot
what
of.
was the susu used for? Was it protection? Was
No,
it
this was just for people to make money.
okay?
So instead of you going to the bank, if you jump into this, let's say you needed $100,000 right now. Well, if you got 10 people and everyone is putting 10
Mm-hmm.
grand every month, you got
Mm-hmm.
100,000 right
Okay.
now,
Okay.
but you just have to pay it off by the month.
Similar to the Jewish community in some
Exactly.
way.
Like every community has one
Okay.
of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, someone had to have tipped off somebody because that was the day that she received everybody's money.
Mm.
And we're talking about a lot of different Haitian like merchants in Little Haiti, from the guy who has a jewelry store, from the person who has a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
Botanica, like all of these different businesses. And they followed her home. After she did the groceries, I was bringing the groceries inside. And as I'm bringing the groceries inside, somebody runs inside the house. So I run inside the house. And there's a tussle between him and I, but I'm 12 years old. I'm frail. I'm skinny. He tosses me on the side. I chase him, and as I'm chasing him down, when he gets into his car and I can't see because the window tints are so dark, I'm just like, I'm afraid.
Because now you can't. You
And now the
literally
adrenaline
cannot
is,
see.
yeah,
You ran and you know where you were going and you know what you were going for, but now that you can't see them anymore,
yeah. And the
it's just
adrenaline is gone. So now I'm like, okay, what they gonna do? They gonna shoot me? Like what? So I'm frozen. The car leaves. And you imagine going back home while your mom is in the shower. The last thing she told you was to bring the groceries in, and like,
So all of this was happening, and she was not even aware that
yeah,
all of
because
this
she
was happening.
she
was in
left
the
her purse on the counter.
She was in the shower. She was taking care of her stuff.
Yeah,
So she didn't know that you were in danger.
exactly. And that's one of the very first times in my life where I'm like, yo, I want to kill somebody. Like, I need a gun. That's when I felt like I needed a gun. I was like 12. Because for me, I'm like, you ain't going to come inside my house like that. Because that was the only thing that could
Yeah.
make us equal, is if I had a gun. Because if I had a gun, that wouldn't have happened. You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I think that it's a feeling of like, well, anyways, from what I'm recording and maybe from the experiences that I can relate to, is that you feel it's not even like, yeah, there's anger, but you also feel it's just they got into your vulnerability, your complete vulnerability, and they came into your safe space.
Yeah, to add to that, it's like that there was another time they came back to my house. So it's like my house became a crime scene. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy when your house becomes a crime scene because, example, I come home from school. When I walk in, my house is like upside down. Like upside down, like whirlwind. Every drawer is pulled out, like cash register, like because they got so much money, they figured, let's come back. Maybe there's money in the house.
Shoot.
So now that's
crazy.
Yeah, I had no social life because of that. So now my mom is like, well, he can't be home because what if they come back to the house? So you know what? When you finish school, come to my business, which is where they're stalking her, watching her. But this is what she does. This is all she's been doing for like 30 years. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So like all her livelihood is wrapped
Right.
up in that. So for me, I had to just basically stay in the back room and watch my mom do business all day,
Mm.
do my homework, and then watch all of the transactions in and out. And, that kind of pushed me towards that life too, because
Mm.
I don't know, I just love the business. I just
And
love,
you were observing as well all of the, the do's, not the do's and don'ts, but you're analyzing also people's behavior and
mm-hmm,
how, how the business is rolling. And, so I lived the same thing as well. And my dad, when he was doing his club, um, he would he didn't believe in babysitting. So even whether he would go to the bank or being in a business meeting, a negotiation, or just handling an artist or handling a client or even people that didn't do him wrong, I was a testimony of that. I could
mm,
see the interaction. I could see how
mm,
he handled people. I could see how he spoke to people. I could see how he negotiated. So I think that deep down, when I've started business, all of these things came out. I didn't know that I had that in me,
mm-hmm,
and these observations.
mm,
Yeah, so I could imagine how, in your sense, you're even if you're being quiet in the corner, you're registering everything.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
like a
it's
sponge,
shaping you without you knowing it.
100%.
Mm, that's amazing. And thank you for that. And I could just imagine how that really shaped you for the next years of your life.
For sure.
Do you feel like that incident specifically was the one that really made the switch, like kind of brought out
Yeah,
that
I think
life in
so.
you?
I
Yeah.
think so.
So you spoke about in your book, Broken Crayon, Still Color, um, which is a very powerful mantra. Would you, how does that applies to your own experience? Like,
Oh, I think all of it. I just feel like everyone is broken. And when it comes to myself, I've just been broken in so many different ways and different places. But I feel like the more you're broken, the more you could be used. Because no one's perfect. Perfect people don't get used.
but does perfect exist?
No, but in people's minds, it does.
Mm.
People have this idea of perfection. And because they have the idea of perfection, a lot of people don't try because they're like, when I get here, when I get to this level, then I'll be good enough to do this, or I'll do this, or I'll
Mm-hmm.
do that. So perfect does exist in people's consciousness.
Okay.
However, it's completely false. It's like it does not exist.
I agree with you. And I think for me, even for a long time, all I was doing um, is searching for perfection before actually even doing anything. Um, and I think it blocked me in so many things in my life.
You know
Like,
what? It blocked me too at a certain point. And I remember because I'm a quote junkie. I love quotes. I love writing quotes.
yeah.
I love challenging quotes.
Uh-huh.
And one of the quotes I wrote was, um, what was it? What is it again? Um,
Is it in your book?
no, but it's in my phone. But I don't. I'm condition. No, perfection. What was it again? Procrastination. Uh, well, let me see.
So
Hold on.
tell me the meaning of your quote.
It's about how procrastination conditions you. But I'm gonna grab it right here,
All right.
and then we'll cut that part.
Let me take some water.
Yes, waiting on the perfect conditions you perfectly for procrastination.
Can you repeat that?
Waiting on the perfect conditions you perfectly for procrastination.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's dope. And it's true.
yeah. And I had to
Man.
learn the hard way about that.
And how did you break that? Like I'm really asking personally. Like I know there's probably a lot of people that connects to that. Because there's more people that don't do than do.
Honestly, is to stop listening to the people around you, and most importantly, stop listening to the inner critic. Because that
Mm.
inner critic that's constantly doubting, operating out of fear, operating out of scarcity, all of these things, stop giving into those voices. The loudest voice, the voice that should be the most audible, is faith, not that, because that voice ain't gonna get you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I just started executing, like whether
Taking action.
taking massive action, like
Mm-hmm.
just going crazy, doing stuff that people would be like, "Yo, man, you crazy!" Like, I'm not gonna do that. You know, like I say I'm a speaker. Well, all right, I'm gonna book myself to go speak somewhere where they're not gonna even pay me
Okay.
because I feel like I'm good enough.
Okay.
And for me, I'm gonna show myself and people that don't even know me who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and reconfirm to myself, you know what? Yeah, I am that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a prophet ain't a prophet in his own home. Like, ain't nobody, from your hometown is gonna be like, yeah, you're that guy. No.
Especially when you've had a past that people know about, because I
Yeah.
guess people knew who you were, people
Not
knew what you did,
not
or
ne-
I mean, not the details, but they knew that you were about the streets.
not
You know,
necessarily, because when I came here,
okay, not necessarily here,
yeah, not
but
here.
in Miami.
Miami, no one even knew I even left. There
Okay.
was like a couple souls that knew that I left, but I didn't tell nobody. I wasn't, I was,
And was it for like safety reasons in some way,
yeah,
or it's just
because
like I realized I need to change and let me get out, and I don't have to give any
all of the
explanation to
above,
anybody.
all of the above, because for me, it's like, you don't make moves without, you got to be quiet. You just never know.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I was involved with a lot of stuff. You don't know who watching you. You don't know what's going on. So for me, it's like, yo, nobody, if you're not part of it, why you need to know?
I've been reading a lot of things about moving in silence. Would you say this would relate to that experience? That
100%.
move would be pretty much what you did, moving in silence.
100%.
And what are the challenges actually that you've lived in the transition? So I guess when you came to Canada, that was it for you. Like
Oh,
that
even
life was
before.
really it for you?
Even before. I quit
Okay.
before I came here.
Okay.
I started selling clothes, shoes, perfume, started selling cars at the auction because I couldn't get a job, didn't have my papers.
Right.
So that was all the hustles that I could find where I had peace, but, I got set up to get robbed, almost died. And that's when I realized that I needed to change my environment because my environment was ideal again for my failure, for my death, for prison. So I was like, you know what, let me just leave. And even the police, like, they don't believe that you're on a straight and narrow now. They've been pulling you over, jacking you up
Yeah.
all this time. Like, in their mind, I'm still the same person. You know what I mean? I'm putting up a front. So it's very dangerous. I find that when you change and you stay in the same environment.
And I think that applies for like everything. I mean, if you're addicted to alcohol, you can't keep going to the bar, the club, or even hanging out with the same people that would say, "Hey, how about Friday? Let's go for drinks," or whatever. Saying, "Oh, I'm not going to drink." But if it's an issue for you, you can't hang out with these people anymore.
100.
If your addiction is, I don't know, if you want to change your life and you want to go from finding a spouse or a partner, serious partner, and you're hanging out with all of your friends that all they do is hook up every other weekend or whichever, you kind of have to change that environment as well.
100.
If you want to elevate to success and saying, you know what, I want to get out of this I don't know, 9 to 5 job or this job that I hate, and I want to find something that is more purposeful to me. You have to change your environment.
100.
We are a reflection of our environment in some way.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. You are currently, you do a lot of mentorship in your work, and it's a huge part of what you do. Give me the qualities that are necessary to be a mentor.
Transparency, I would say that's the first thing, because I think sometimes when people hear the word mentor, it means like you've arrived somewhere or you're on a certain level. For me, it's just a question of experience. For me, mentorship, I just think that experience doesn't have to be your lived experience. It could be experience with working with people in a certain lifestyle or certain arena, compassion, empathy, good listening skills. Because why would you want to hear from anyone that's not
Mhm.
really listening to you
Mhm.
in your experience? Apt to learning because everyone is different. So you can't just copy and paste. So like if
Mhm.
I mentor people that have been, um, you know, recently reintegrating into society, I can't just, okay, the way I talk to Chris, I'm going to talk to Sam.
Mhm.
And that's the same way I'm going to talk to Pat. That doesn't make sense because we have all these different personalities. Um, and not everyone is the same when it comes to asking.
Mhm.
Like, I need help.
That's true.
Yeah. So, like, you got to
Yeah.
adapt.
It's hard to ask for help.
It's very
I think
hard.
I've started to apply asking for help like in the last year or so.
Mm.
Like, yeah. And I'm not 20.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. And it's still hard to up to today
No,
to
but
ask for help.
mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of expectations that we have, or I don't know if it's you feel like you owe someone. For me, everything has always been a give and take situation, but I hate it because I've always given naturally to my friends, to the people around me, to the people I've been with, my ex-husband, my kids, my like or even just random people that you meet, and you're like, sure, I'll help you out, I'll do this, I'll do that. But then when it comes to me needing help, oh my gosh, it is so difficult.
To ask for help?
It's so hard to ask for help. It is.
Why?
Uh, I I'm still trying to figure that out.
How do you feel when you ask for help?
I feel like I'm begging. I feel like I'm in a position of yeah, like I'm lower or I don't know what's the word exactly. Did you say pride?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah.
And maybe there's a word for it, but
Yeah,
I
that could be
that
that
could be
could be
part
it.
of it.
Okay, pride, yeah, right, that's great, but how do I define pride? Why pride? Why is there pride,
So
you
you
know?
gotta.
So that's the thing. So I think it's I get
But you know
it,
what?
you know?
So it could be that. It could also be you not wanting to feel like a burden to somebody else. Like you feel okay, but you feel like you're begging. You feel like I don't want to burden them with what I
I don't
need.
want to, yeah, like I don't want to, disturb you or anything.
Exactly.
And we should accept people's answer for what they're telling us.
Right.
If they say, yeah, sure, I'll help you out, it should just be that. We shouldn't even add, oh, well, I don't want to burden you or anything like that. No, it should be like you've asked. If they say they can do it, it's because they looked in their, in their schedule. They look to see if they can do it and they do it.
That's it.
And I get that. It's the same thing when we have a conversation with someone and we listen to what they're saying and we accept what they're saying, and we have to also we have to not underestimate, but um we have to believe what they say, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and not twist it or not, translate it in our own.
Based off that inner.
Yes, based on our inner critic,
Yeah.
inner critic. So I think that's there's definitely a lot of work, and for me, speaking of journey of evolution and journey of evolving and changing, do you feel like you're still growing and you're still evolving?
100%. And I got a long way to go.
Mm.
A long way to go.
Give me an example of the things that you're still struggling with, that 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 comes from your past life. Let's call it like that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let me see. Um, I would say there's a lot. Let me see what I want to disclose. Let's see. Out of the file cabinet I have
Yeah.
here.
Well, how
So
about relationships? In a
look at
way
this.
that
She coming for me.
no, but I'm just saying, like, you fought a lot for your mother. Your mother is a huge figure in your life.
For sure.
I don't know if you've had an amazing relationship with her or not,
Mm-hmm.
or if it was a love and hate relationship, or if there was any resentment against your mother for bringing you in this situation.
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I never took that in that type of way. I think young growing up, I was more upset that I was always babysitting my little sister.
Okay. Oh, so
So,
you're sorry, I didn't ask you how many siblings you
I
had.
got a lot. I got a lot. But from my mom's side, I have 2 sisters. I'm the
Okay.
middle child. So always babysitting my little sister just put me on a vibe where I would leave her at home. I wasn't a good brother at all. I wasn't a good son, wasn't a good brother. I would leave her home and just go play video games next door, you know, trying to live my youth out because I was too parentified. And
Which is normal.
yeah, so for me, I had some resentment when I was younger, but then I left. I left home when I was, 16?
Okay.
So for me, it was like,
Because you knew if you stay, that's pretty much all you're going to be doing is
At one-
always being that father figure.
well, at one point, she shipped my sister to her father because she came home early. She found drugs. So she was like, she can't trust me around her anymore. So it wouldn't flow because I feel like a big mistake that parents make too often, and I tell this to people all the time, they don't invest in their youth. I feel like kids are like a mutual fund. A mutual fund, I'm not no big finance dude, but like a mutual fund is like a portfolio with different type of stocks, not just one. So over time, something's got to give, usually about 7 years. So like when it comes to children, you invest in music, you invest in self-defense, you invest in swim, you invest in so much stuff. You keep that kid so busy that somewhere along the lines of the stuff that they do not like, they realize they like something.
It's true.
They realize like, oh, I really dig this,
Yeah.
or I don't dig this. They discover their potential, and you're not going to discover your potential if you just stay home. And
Do you think your mother had that that there's 2 things. Do you think your mother had the knowledge of putting her child in either extracurricular activities or putting her in these things, meaning the knowledge of maybe something that she did when she was young, and she would do also for her kids? And also, did she have the means to do it?
she had the means, but I think that my mother's priorities were not necessarily aligned the right way. I think that my mom, under all that stress and her dealing with everything, her mind was taking care of me in a different way and taking care of me later. More like, I'm gonna give you everything you need,
Later.
focus on the school. But my mom was like, I'm building this in Haiti. So I see my mom on the financial tip, like, this life in the States, that's not what I'm about. Like, I'm gonna build something for us to like run in Haiti. Because my mom was very, very like,
She was like kind of a visionary in some way.
so this is where her mind was. Her mind is not like, you need video games today. She's like, yo, I'm building this big crib for us in Haiti so you could benefit from, for all of you guys to benefit from. And that's where I think her mind was at, because she wanted to, you know, open up businesses there, retire from over there. And in her mind, she always thought that I'm going to come to Canada
Right.
because I never had my papers in the States, right?
Right. And so you were lacked, obviously you lacked of parental presence. And you say that it did create some resentment, which I could totally understand.
Right.
Were you able to forgive her for these things, like truly, or do you still feel sometimes when you live certain things that kind of relate to that situation? Do you feel like it's still kind of there?
That resentment is gone, long gone, because I'm not the type that's going to hold on to things I can't. I feel like the best way that I could describe it is like if I had a water bottle in my hand that's empty and I'm squeezing it and squeezing it and squeezing it. There's nothing in there, but all my energy is just being, I'm holding something empty that has no value, and I just keep holding
Right.
on to it, and I'm releasing so much energy over what she did the best she could with what she knew, with the resources she had, based off where she was in life. I knew she loved me. She just, with the cards that she had in her deck, she was focused on, a vision of us somehow doing things in Haiti. And when I, you know, went left and starting getting my life involved with all this nonsense, she couldn't control me.
Right.
So for her, it's like, what do? I can't do anything. I can't get through to him. So at one point, one of the things that I loved about my mom, she accepted me the way I was. Like I was doing dumb stuff, but she didn't love me less.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like she would be like, yo, be smarter. Like why is this over here?
Right.
You get what I mean?
So she still shaped you in your thought process.
Yes. And
or educate you in that sense.
Oh, for sure. Most definitely. And she was on, and that's another thing too, that I feel like people are way too petty. So petty, so unforgiving when it comes to their parents. Cause I'm like, yo, like your mom, your dad have their own journey too. And they're just as messed up as you.
True.
And they probably didn't receive what you received. Like you don't know what they're managing. So why are you holding for me, I feel like when it comes to forgiving a parent, I feel like this is one of the very tests of life. One of the tests that I feel like God give us is forgiving our parents.
Yeah.
And if you can't pass that test, for me, it's like before you even touch anything else, like for you to outgrow this need to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's to be right or to be wrong or to be like just.
I think it's because the parents usually they know us so well and they tap into our vulnerability to the deepest ways that for us to be able to forgive our parents and to really accept for who they are and that they did their best allows us really to not allowing people to have that much impact on us. And what I mean by that is that we're affected by what they do and what they say to us and so on. If ever, they can trigger us easily.
For sure.
And if we don't release that from the person that actually knows which button to press, if we don't release that and if we don't detach from this thing and also just allow to say, you know what, whatever they say or whatever they did doesn't affect me anymore.
Right.
I am my person. I'm building my own person now. I'm responsible for every actions that I'm putting out there. I can also do different. I can give love back to my parents or act a different way that, from whatever you didn't like from them. I can mirror the things that I did like and that was good. However, I think that when you really are able to forgive and release that resentment from your parents, it's easier to go out there in the world and to be authentically yourself and without having too much impact and too much, how do you say this? To be hurt by other people.
Yeah.
Or to allow people to hurt you.
And something to add to that, 9 times out of 10, your parents going to hurt you somehow, some way. But there are some situations where you have some parents that are like completely toxic.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Like intentionally or like some stuff. It's like, how do you forgive that? At the very end of the day, easier said than done. We got to try to find a way to forgive. And forgive doesn't necessarily mean we're best buddies.
Yeah.
Forgiveness just means that, you know what, I'm going to cancel that debt. So there is no space in me that is allocated to someone that doesn't deserve it anyway. Like, yo, just keep it moving. Like my father wasn't there for me in my youth. You know what I mean? But I've just learned to just make amends. He's my father for a reason. And sometimes, not everybody that's around you, sometimes the people around you, you're not there to necessarily gain their wisdom. Sometimes you're there to learn from their mistakes. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just God showing you, like, look, this is what you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? It all depends, but I just feel like love covers a multitude, right? So try to get that abundance of love so you can overcome all of the...
And where did you find this meaning of love, since you went from being angry, getting guns, getting your own way, building yourself? Now you're building that strength around you, which you think you are, because now you're doing it in a way that, you're having money, you have weapons, you have things that are external, that is protecting you, that's building that shield around you. And now that you stripped all of that out, it's still the little boy that's there, and the anger is still there. How did you discover love or rediscover love for your life?
I mean, I feel like love was like a thread, not trying to be too poetic, but love was
Go
like
for
a
it.
thread.
I mean, you are a poet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love was a thread that weaved in and out of my life through different people that I felt like God put in my life. And I felt like I felt that love with the people I was selling dope with. I felt that love even from one of my clients who I feel like is my father. One of the people I was selling dope to, this guy.
Was he a mentor to you?
He was my mentor. He kept me from doing a lot of stupid stuff. He literally took a rifle out of my hand and he was like, nah.
You're not going down that path.
No, like, no. Leave this over here with me, chill. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, like, for me, I feel like sometimes people think that love only comes from, perfect, like, not like the ideal people. Man, you could feel love everywhere. Sometimes in a sinking ship, like, I'll retake that, but like sometimes you'll feel love from that person that's addicted. I felt love from so many different people, and I feel like that's what kind of molds my worldview. You never know who's who. You know what I mean? Like, I've had, people that were strung out on crack counsel me and give me some of the most powerful advice. And like the guy that I mentioned before, Dread, like him, like, we still talk to this day.
Wow.
By the grace of God, he's not on drugs and I don't sell anymore. So it's beautiful whenever we get together, but like, that's a powerful relationship.
That is, because a lot of people, when they leave a certain life like that, lifestyle like that, they cut all ties. Maybe, do you find that at one point you had to cut that tie to be able to rekindle after, when you were stronger? Because let's say if we're talking to, we're talking to younger people that were incarcerated or that are trying to get out of this life, and they feel that they obviously have that connection with a lot of their family, their street family. How do they get out of that life without feeling guilty that they're leaving other people behind, that they've, built brotherhood? Is it possible? Is it possible to do that, to get out and still kind of find that relationship afterwards?
It depends. It's possible, but it depends. Like, me personally, I got one of my closest friends. I felt like out of all the people I've met in my life, this guy was probably one of the most loyal people to me. And, he got deported in 2006. He was sent to Haiti. We're still in contact to this day. He was in contact with my mom when my mom would come in and out. So he was happy to see me change. I have childhood friends that I knew since I was 12. They seen the dude that was like at Hartsman Middle School chilling to like, yo, this dude's moving dope. You know what I mean? They've seen that, and we're still in contact to this day. And then I have the guy that was my plug, you know, the guy that was my supplier. And like, he didn't want me to leave Miami because he loved me. He was like, yo, bro, if you leave, you'll never be able to come back, which was true to a certain degree.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
you know, fortunately for him, he got picked up. You know, someone snitched on him. And I say fortunately because he got picked up before the DEA could get to him. So he got in on a small charge. If he would have got picked up on the bigger charge, it would have been
for life.
crazy. So he did his time and he got deported as well. But, you know, like we would constantly be in communication while he was incarcerated.
But it still takes a certain amount of strength
Oh, for
to
sure.
be able to do that.
For
and
sure.
to stay, you know, to stay in contact with your path's relationship. Especially if, let's say, if they haven't moved on or they haven't changed,
And see,
you know, and there are some that probably are pissed that you left because
They
they're
don't
still in
know.
the gutter.
they don't know. You see, them folk, I'm not telling you nothing. You don't need to know. You see what I'm saying? So they like a lot of people. So wait, back to this guy. So when he got deported, he kept selling dope. And unfortunately, he got assassinated.
Oh,
And after
shoot.
getting assassinated, and we was really close, but before he got assassinated, you know, I don't know if he was going through something, and when you're used to fast money like that, that's an addiction. Like some people don't understand, you're addicted too. Like it's very addicting when you make money quick.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for him, you know, like before he got assassinated, maybe a year before that or two, you know, he reached out to me on some trying to make something happen in Montreal. And I'm like, I was so offended. I was so offended because I'm like, you've seen everything I've done. Why would you even approach me with that?
But why not? I mean, this is the life where you're selfish, you're self-centered, and you're on survival all the time. And if you have to make something happen and you don't know why he had to make that happen, you don't know if you have anybody behind him, you know, putting a gun at his temple and saying, if you don't make this happen, you're going down. And you're that person, you're the connection. And if he has to do it, he has to do it, you know? And I think that's the crazy thing about that life. That's why I say you have to be super strong to be able to stay keep those relationships there.
See, I cut him off after that because for me, I'm like, you can't come at me with this nonsense because you know me. Like a lot of people feel like they know me, but they don't. Because I feel like, you know, for a very long time, I feel like I didn't want to deal with anybody here because I feel like they would never really know me, like really know what I'm walking away from and walking into and understand that. And this guy, he knew me. So for him to see that change, for me, it's like, why would you, you know?
Yeah.
You should never come at me in that way. So I think it probably was a year or two. And yeah, I got the news and I was just like, man, it really hurt me because I'm like, yo, you let money get the best of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also seeing, do you find that you're actually seeing what the life you had before, if you would have, like, would you have seen that before? Because you responding that is also a sense of worth. Saying, how dare you call me and ask me these things when you've seen the change that I've done in my life?
Yeah.
And you still call me. And for you, he could ask whatever he wants. But for you, from what I'm seeing, and this is also an indication of self-worth, you really set the bar, your boundaries. You've set your boundaries and you've also made him understand that you won't go there anymore. And you're actually not going to keep nurturing this relationship.
For sure.
Because your self-worth is here now. And he put you here. He treated you this way.
Yeah,
but you
exactly.
didn't allow him to bring you there. And even by just cutting it up, it really you set that bar high.
Yeah,
You know.
and to even add to what you're saying, it's like when you move drugs, you're gambling your life. That's what you're gambling with. Because if you get arrested, it's you that's going to do the time. If you get hurt, it's you that's going to get hurt. So for you to move drugs, you're putting your life on the line. When you get to that point in life when you feel like your life is more important than money, you remove your life from certain situations and you feel like, nah, this ain't worth it. You know what I mean? And in that case, he was no longer my friend. That was the businessman with no ethics that was contacting me. That wasn't my friend. So for me, what are we talking about? Because I can't do business with you.
But you can't be friends with the businessman either.
Exactly. That would be harmful to me. So I'm like, look, if that's what you want, fine. But I can't be involved with that. Not at all.
That's something, because I think it's one of the things probably that's most difficult for people that want to change their lives is to be able to know how to cut out the people that are, toxic.
For sure.
And I know that we've heard toxic a lot, in podcasts and people talk about toxic, but it's not as obvious to determine what a toxic relationship is. Sometimes it's even passive aggressive toxic.
Really?
People that are just there to kind of, they keep tabs on you. They come in once in a while, pull your energy. They don't do too much noise, but they do as much noise just by keeping in contact with you once in a while. And it's our duty to know when to let go and to accept that we will be going through a period of grief.
For sure.
That process too.
For sure.
Yeah. So, you used to rap, you used to be in music, now you're in poetry. I've never seen anything about rap or you rapping, or I don't know if you've ever done any CDs.
Oh, yeah, I have.
CDs, slog, any records or anything like that. Are you still interested in doing any, or you're just doing poetry right now?
Just spoken word. Like,
yeah.
I haven't. Nah, I'm not really interested in rap right now.
But how did music help you throughout your journey?
Help me channel the pain. Help me channel what I feel, channel what I'm going through. I just think that ultimately it was just my way of expressing myself. Expressing yourself feels good when you get everything out. That's why I felt like writing is, whether you like writing or not, writing is just such a powerful therapeutic tool that people underestimate.
You seem to be someone that has an ease in communication or in words itself. Like you said, you used to rap and now you're doing poetry. What would be the advice to someone that has a harder time communicating or even writing, or that's not necessarily a writing artist,
I would say just brainstorm. It don't even got to be that deep. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say I'm going through frustration and I want to get it out. I don't know how to get it out. Just take a piece of paper, circle, write frustration. What is nurturing my frustration? Start, write a little line, like a little brainstorming, see what connects to that. And once you do that, once you get all of that out, next thing, what can I control? What do I have no control over? The things that you have control over, circle. The things you don't have control over, put an X on it. And then when you look at those X's, stop putting energy there. And now the things you can control, focus on what can you do with what you can control, right? So example, if I'm frustrated because I have a micromanager at work and it's stressing me the hell out, like, yo, I don't know how I'm
breathing down your neck.
Yeah, like, how do I deal with this? Okay, can I control the person? No. What can I control in this situation? My attitude. I can control my perspective. I can control knowledge. Let me find a book on micromanaging or something like that. Let me see how I can equip myself in order to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? Stop focusing on the more you focus on what you can't control, the more drained you become.
That's so true. Yeah. I like that example.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. And then from there, you just start writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't be so hard on yourself either.
That's it.
You know, so it's your piece of paper. No one
That's
else
it.
is seeing it.
That's it.
It's true.
Just go
If you
in.
think about it.
That's it. Just
It's
go
so
in.
true. Yeah. I have your book here that you wrote. It's not recent.
No, this one's been a while.
It's been a while, volume 1. Is there a volume 2?
It'll come soon,
Yeah.
but I'm working on my next book, Broken Crayon Still Color. Been working on that book for about 10 years.
I read most of it.
Okay.
And there's a few of them that had kind of captured my attention. I know I can't go through all of them. Ooh. I'm debating between two. There's one that's called That's a Rape.
That's rape, yeah.
That's Rape.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one that's called Frustration.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to
Anyone you
through?
want.
Let's go through That's Rape.
For sure.
Yeah. I'll read it.
Okay.
Yeah? All right. I'll go through it. So if rape is considered to be if rape is considered to be forceful entry, your words were
like a crowbar, continuously bending, sending the message that you would do no harm. Quite frankly, eyes that see through love can't see through charm.
Yeah.
Every time she doubted, you would push and pry. She acted under the influence of your seductive eyes, your corruptive lies, your scandalous speech. You're a rapist, your ski mask embroidered with the words, Je t'aime, chérie. Do you love me? Had an answer fabricated for such a purpose. So the dream the most skilled dream catcher couldn't catch. Told her that this was love and not a selfish act. With tact, you fled the scene as you've done many times before, leaving behind casualties of your affection and then on the prowl for more.
That's
Rape. She said, no,
Stop.
You're hurting me, please no. But how could you
roused.
be so
roused and vividly
visceral, so rotten and your soul so rotten and decomposed, blow after blow, gripping her throat, you forced, causing damaging results. She entertains the constant guilt and shame. It was my fault. False love is a weapon of mass destruction, erupting hopes when she was like Mount St. Helens, inactive. In practice, you were a priest. In theory, you were a thief, hiding behind 3-syllable words like ministry and family. No, I don't speak to judge you, only to lead you to the truth, realizing at a point in time, I used to be you.
I don't speak to judge you, but hope to lead you to the truth. Speaking from the heart, I realize I was you. That touched me a lot. And how is it I was you? What does that mean?
First and foremost, trigger warning for everybody in the room. Like when it comes to rape, I'm not talking about physical rape. I'm talking about by deception. So I remember, one time, and even before there, let me just do a quick backup. So when you're younger, a lot of the times we're taught, just tell women what they want to hear to get what you want. Well, I realize that's right. When you tell a woman, hey, I love you, I want to be with you, this, that, let's get married tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. You tell her all of the things to help her put her guard down. If you sleep with her, that's right. You follow me?
I totally follow you.
Yeah, because you deceived her. It's like if I put on a bail uniform and I knock on your door and I'm like, hey, I'm here to fix the Wi-Fi. The minute that I step into that door, I just trespassed. You only let me in because of the uniform. And this is what sometimes people do, what I've done before. You tell someone what they want to hear.
When we call that manipulation?
Yeah, that's manipulation too.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that all human beings manipulate in some way to get
For
what they
sure.
want.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in kind of a relationship, partnership where I was really manipulated, but manipulated in the way that even my self-conscious knew that I was being manipulated, but I felt completely frozen, as if my action were not following what my subconscious was telling me.
Mm-hmm. Trauma response.
Yeah, I guess. It was like if everything that I would do, and then after that, that person manipulated me so well that even if I knew it was wrong, or even if I knew that this is not what I want, this is not where I want to go, this is not what I want to do, like I was doing it anyway, because the way that they would, the way they came into my life, and they came in a way that I opened my door of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had their boots, and they were in my house, then they destroyed it in some way,
Mm-hmm.
up to a certain point.
Right.
And even if I knew that it was chaotic, even if I saw everything, I felt figé. Je sais pas comment
I
dire
got you.
figé. I felt completely frozen. Like if I couldn't even if I had a sister or someone that would tell me something, there was a part of me that was completely numb. And that's the part that I needed to shake out and wake up and find the strength in me to break out,
For sure.
you know. Did it felt like a rape? Yeah, probably it did. You know, it wasn't a rape, physical rape,
Yeah.
but it felt like a whole
Emotional.
emotional rape. It felt like a whole just my soul in some way. Like I wasn't even in control of that anymore. And breaking out of it took so much time. Yeah. And it still sometimes still has repercussions to
For
it,
sure.
you know? And I think that the most difficult part about these events, like you say, these manipulations or rapes or whichever, is that they're also triggered by different events in your life, or even all the way to your childhood,
For sure.
you know. But thank you for that. I wanted to understand a bit more where that came from.
Yeah.
So this is Pen of a Ready
Ready
Writer.
Writer.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, there's so many other things we can cover. I think for me, I loved where we went and what we've discussed.
For sure.
What would be kind of a note to self that you tell yourself every morning when you wake up?
I got to be better at that, like when it comes to my routine. But I just try to talk to myself in a positive way, because I feel like the best days I have is when I talk to myself in a nice way.
So your inner critic is the most important thing, you
Yes.
would say.
Yeah, just talking to myself nice. You know, telling myself that I'm great, telling myself it's going to be a good day, telling myself I got it. Just being positive.
That's awesome. And what would be your advice to someone that has a similar past, even a person that's still in it and probably in their 40s, to that would want to really get out of,
I would
this
say
life and change it around?
first thing is the slow 50 cent be the fast dollar. Like no matter how much money you make at the end of the day, it's going to stop. No matter how much money you make, freedom is everything. It's not worth your freedom. You know, sometimes you could get away, but that luck, that grace doesn't always happen. You know, there's people doing time for stuff that they didn't do.
That's true.
all the
We
time.
just recently had a
like the guy that was sitting here, he did 17 years for something he did not do.
It's crazy.
You feel me? Like, I believe him when he say he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So for me, it's like, if you live in a life of crime, just knowing that we live in a system that has so many people in prison for things that they did not do. Like, just your life is worth so much more. And with that entrepreneurial mindset, like, yo, just take it somewhere else. Learn how to, like in 2024, you don't have to do crime to get paid. You don't have to. Like, you can find different ways, but it requires patience. It requires dealing with your ego. That's one of the big things that I had to deal with. Like coming to Canada, having a lunchbox, like that killed my ego, Having a job, that killed my ego. I felt like I had no value because I had a job.
I've spoken to many young artists, and I think that's the most difficult thing for them. It's the one thing that kept coming back is, yeah, but, I just want to sing. I just want to perform. I just want to do my music, but they got to eat. And the success won't come right away. There's a lot of hard work, late nights. There's a lot of patience. And there's not just building your music, but there's also building your person throughout the journey. And I find that a lot of them, it's so hard for them to work, to just do a 9 to 5 and do their music at the same time. So they live this life of like either being broke or they sell, they do other things too, because they want that fast money. They want the blings. They want the, they want to know that they're kind of there without actually being there yet.
See, that takes that patience, humility, creativity. And the blessing that comes with not having resources is you could learn to become resourceful.
Add value.
And like for me, like being a speaker, like, yo, it's very difficult. So I took a night job. I worked from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I couldn't miss no opportunities because I was tired of doing vacation time to work.
Wow, that's intense.
So I don't know. I just feel like that's part of the journey, but you got to learn to balance it out in a way. So I would do movie extras. I would do working at night. I would do Uber. I would do everything. I don't care. No pride. You feel me? And when that pride does come from time to time.
I'm sure it does.
Oh, so you're a speaker. All right, Mr. Uber driver. And then sometimes you get someone that's like, really? And then you're selling books in your car while you're doing Uber. I used to do that too. But it's a question of, like you just got to hustle. You got to, and if this is something that you really feel called to, why worry about the how? It's all about the why. When you really have a solid why that's greater, bigger than you, you'll always find a how. Small minds always worry about how. Great minds don't worry about how, they worry about why.
Damn. Damn. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah.
I have a segment where, and then we're almost done. I have a segment where we focus on health and wellness. I believe that in any successful journey, you have to integrate health and wellness, whether it's the mind, the body, the spirit. The body is definitely one. What would be your routine to find a stability or, just to integrate wellness in your daily life?
The gym.
You're a gym guy.
The gym. Hitting the gym, running, going to the spa, getting into that cold water.
Yeah.
That thing feels great.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, but I love it. I used to hate it. But when like there's I don't know, when you listen to your body enough, sometimes you feel it in your body like your body is jammed.
Yeah.
And whenever I hit that cold water, boy, it's like a reset.
Yep.
I feel like
the feeling of getting out of it is amazing. It's the going in.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's really, what do you say? It's similar to what we live, right?
Yes.
It's so, we feel it's so difficult to go through the change, and it's painful. Like for me, it's painful. Like my legs, everything hurts
Yeah, for
when I go
sure.
in. I don't feel it. It burns, you know. And on top of that, I think I'm suffering from one of those things where
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't have any circulation at the end of my, extremities. So going in those cold waters, it hurts, it's painful. But 2 seconds in, 3 seconds in, it's like if it just goes away. And then when you get it out and you feel all of that
Tingling sensation.
tingling sensation coming off, I feel like it's just the burden, the heaviness, the
100.
worries, the anxiety, all of that stuff that comes out. But you do have to do it a few times
No, for sure.
for it to work.
Love it.
That's the part. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay, that's cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Svens Telemaque. Where can we find you on internet, social media? And I know that you do also a lot of speaking gigs. I believe that you can be booked.
For sure.
So tell our audience.
So you
our
can find
viewers.
me Svens, Svens, telemaque.com. So everything else is just that, Svens Telemaque. Thank you very much for having me, Mahaya. It was really a blessing.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, really flowed, and
Yeah. Thank you. Help me break the ice on so many different things that I'm going through as well, which is amazing. And I just want to know, did you want to share anything that you're working on or, that's coming up for you in the future?
Just
Or
now,
what you're looking forward to?
yeah, we're completing my second book, Broken Crayon Still Color. I might change the name, we'll see, but I keep getting that confirmation. And apart from that, right now, myself and King Shadrach, we have a tour going on to 12 different prisons across Quebec, which is called Emancipate Your Mind.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. So that's what I'm working on right now, and
That's dope.
really a blessing.
And this is youth and adult, or
Oh no, all adults.
all of them?
Yeah, all adults.
Wow. This is exactly actually what this show is about. It's about taking your story and using it, for a better you, It's taking your story and finding the strength into your story and for you to be able to propel to a better life.
Sure.
So that's pretty much, you've embodied everything about this show.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, and hope you like this. I guess, as usual, follow, subscribe, and please DM me. And if you're interested also in coming and sit with me and having a chat, having a dialogue in the depth of your story, you can also send me an email, connect with me, and or DM me on Instagram. Love you. Love everyone. Thank you very much.
Peace.
Thank
Beautiful. You killed that.